Hi there, I'm Annie and I'm working in here in Balfs in Dublin, which is part of the Westbury Hotel. I work predominantly on the floor side of things, which I love. I love more the customer facing side of hospitality, but I also love cocktails, and one of my favourite things is to go through the different flavour profiles of different cocktails, figuring out what the guest's kind of palate is and kind of guiding them in the direction of their ideal drink. And yeah, so once they're happy, it makes my job easier, more enjoyable, and it's honestly the most rewarding side of the job. So for my drink, I wanted to create something that was relatively simplistic in method and something that could be easily replicated from home. So I'm not using any kind of complicated methods or equipment, but at the same time I wanted to create a drink that had a lot of depth, a lot of different flavours coming through, and something all around just nice tasty drink. So we're obviously using Ollie's Farm honey in this, and after some research, lots of tasting, realised there's a lot of different flavours coming in there, different aromas, very fragrant. So I want to explore upon these flavours, kind of drawing them out and using other kind of flavours and botanicals to kind of complement it, without honey being the predominant flavour like throughout the drink. So in this drink I wanted to showcase the importance of honeybees and their vital role as pollinators. So in a way, the drink is an homage to the honeybees and the different parts of the pollination process. As honey is the main product of the pollination process, I wanted to focus on the honey and have it as my main part of the drink. In saying that, I didn't want it to be the primary flavour. As I briefly mentioned, there's a lot of complexity of flavour within the honey, so I thought it was important to explore that while also do something with a little twist. So I created a shrub with my honey, and I did this by using white wine vinegar, very basic, and I also added in some lavender just to bring out those fragrant notes within the honey. Anytime I think of honey, I think lavender, and I think for this drink it just really complements the flavours really well. So also to kind of signify the different processes of pollination, flowers are really important, so I also wanted to kind of have a flower element within the drink. Without the honeybees, or bees in general, we wouldn't have flowers as they go from flower to flower pollinating. Also in this drink I created a lemongrass tincture. So I used kettle 1 to infuse it. The lemongrass I just heated slightly just to release the oils, just to get the flavour out. Left it in a container, give it a couple of shakes, and left it for about a week or so just to maximise all the flavour from it. On some research I realised that lemongrass mimics a pheromone that is found in the queen bee, and this entices a swarm into the hive. So often if beekeepers are having problems with getting a swarm to come to their hive, they'll rub some lemongrass just around the area just to entice the honeybees in, and then it would maximise their productivity. So I thought this was really interesting. It took me a while to actually settle on lemongrass to use within this drink. It took me a lot of walking around in the local area to get some inspiration. Finally came across a local coffee shop now turned into essentially a fruit and veg shop with different kind of groceries. So I'm lucky enough to live in the heart of the Liberties, so I went to the Fumbly, where the staff are really helpful, and I've actually gone there for years because it was always a real kind of friendly atmosphere, nice community vibe there, and just a really pleasant place to go to. So the staff are really helpful, and eventually I came across the lemongrass where their supplier is based in Smithfield. Condrens is the name of the supplier. So again, keeping it within that 7-kilometre radius, I thought it was just suitable to use in the drink. Right, so let's make the drink. After a little bit of experimentation, or a lot of experimentation, I finally decided on a Spritz to be the best way to incorporate all the flavour. So, lovely spritz drink. Firstly, we're going to start off, I'm going to dress the glass firstly. I made a bee pollen sherbet. Again, kind of wanted to highlight the different processes of pollination. Bee pollen is a byproduct of this process, so again I thought it was fitting with the theme and to keep the importance of bees. So I made a paint with the bee pollen sherbet, so it has a little sourness to it, a little bit of sweetness. Kind of blended the bee pollen with the icing sugar, so a bit of sweetness and also a little bit of tartaric acid, so just to add that sourness. So made a paint. You can use xanthan gum or any kind of emulsifier like a gelling agent. And also, just to showcase the colour, I have some of the dried bee pollen sherbet as well, so I'm going to just sprinkle that on. I think it's a good kind of talking point as well, so with the guest straight away there's something to talk about and engage about the importance of pollination and bees. So kind of dress the glass. We're going to ice the glass as well, just to get everything ready. Just throw them in there. There we go. That's probably enough. So we're going to start off, most importantly, with kettle 1. It is the base for the whole drink, and really the whole reason all these elements can come together. So lovely premium product. We're going to add you first. So doing 40 ml of kettle 1. Also going to add some of Belsazar dry vermouth. Again, it kind of ties in those fragrant floral notes. We're going to do about 50 ml of that. While also adding kind of a residual bitterness, just ever so slightly, just to balance the whole drink. Next, I'm going to take my shrub. It's my honey and lavender shrub. We're going to do about 50 ml altogether. And then just to lengthen out the drink, I decided to add some aloe vera. Again, playing off the sweetness and the floral notes in there, but just lengthening it out. So again, another 15 ml of that. I'm going to give it a little stir. And then we're going to top it off with some soda. So, have some sparkling water here. Just going to top it up like that. The fizz in it, just that carbonation just lifts the drink. You have that crisp kick to it, so just adds a bit more body essentially, and just creates a really, really nice drink. Stir it there. Really, really good. And then to finish off, as I mentioned, with the hydrosol, the lemongrass hydrosol, in the same way the queen bee and that pheromone entices the swarm to the hive. I'm going to spray that over just like that, just 2 little sprays, and in that sense we're going to entice the guest to the drink, and again a good talking point. So this is my drink. I've named it Spritz Fever. Lemongrass is also known as fever grass, so I thought it was cool, play on words, while also kind of hinting at once you have one drink, you'll have another one. You kind of get that bug and want to drink more. So that's the idea. It's quite light, a bit crisp, floral, definitely with a bit of a kick to it as well. It's a nice, easygoing drink. I hope everyone will enjoy it, and a nice all-day sipper. So that's that. Enjoy. I hope you like it. Thank you.